referring to his criminal trial, which has him sitting in prison right now. But it has to do with something that happened right before he got arrested.
So the guy was already convicted, already sentenced. He got hit with 50 months back in July 2025 for transporting women across state lines for commercial services. On paper, that was supposed to be the final chapter. Sean Combs losing the empire, the luxury lifestyle, the non-stop parties, and the larger-than-life image he spent years building around himself. But instead of things calming down, reports claim he's inside a federal detention center completely shaken because something allegedly surfaced during his own criminal case. According to these claims, leaked evidence supposedly ties him to the passing of Aaron Carter, and now people are looking at this situation in a totally different way. The man many thought was finally finished suddenly looks nervous and under pressure. Normally, a conviction brings closure and silence. This one allegedly opened the door to an even bigger controversy. There's now a real chance Diddy could be sitting at home tonight instead of behind bars, a free man. That's because an appeals court is reviewing the trial where he was convicted of violating the Mann Act. And suddenly, the whole story feels like it's taking a sharp turn nobody expected. People usually calm down once the sentence is handed out. They don't start spiraling unless they think something even bigger could still be coming their way. Diddy heading to prison was supposed to be the settled part of this entire case. But according to reports surrounding this alleged leak, insiders claim the fear is not really centered on the 50-month sentence. The attention is now shifting toward Aaron Carter and the incident that was officially ruled an accident 3 years ago. Now, people closely watching this situation are starting to question whether everything was really as clear-cut as it first seemed. And that growing suspicion is what has everyone talking right now. Reports started spreading about alleged evidence surfacing right in the middle of the federal prosecution that was already supposed to destroy his reputation. And people do not suddenly panic for no reason. They panic when the punishment everybody already knows about might actually be the smaller issue hanging over them. Here's what has already been placed on the public record. In September 2024, federal prosecutors unsealed an indictment accusing Diddy of racketeering conspiracy, human trafficking, and transportation tied to commercial activity. That alone sent shockwaves everywhere and turned the case into non-stop headlines overnight. Then came the raids. Then came even more media attention that just kept building day after day. In May 2024, CNN released hotel surveillance footage from 2016. A lot of people remember that video clearly. It allegedly showed Diddy wearing only a towel chasing his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura down a hallway, grabbing her by the neck area, forcing her to the floor, kicking her and dragging her through the hallway. The footage sparked massive public backlash almost instantly. Later on, he released a public apology video. He admitted his behavior was inexcusable, said he felt disgusted with himself, and claimed he had gone to therapy. But for a lot of people, that footage became impossible to forget. No matter what was said afterward, the images from that hallway stayed burned into the public's mind. By July 2025, a jury convicted him on 2 counts, leading to a 50-month sentence. For a short time, it looked like the story had finally reached its conclusion. The investigation, the trial, the headlines, all of it seemed wrapped up.
So what they're saying is, look, if you want to use the Mann Act to people who are moving prostitutes across state lines for commercial transactions, which again is what it's usually used for, that's one thing. But here, there's no commercial purpose. Diddy lost money. He ended up paying the prostitutes. The films were never distributed to anybody. The defense is saying it was for his pleasure and the pleasure of people who may have...
But then attention started shifting towards something much darker that had quietly been sitting in the background the entire time. Aaron Carter passed away on November 5th, 2022. According to the autopsy report, he drowned after being affected by alprazolam and diethane, substances commonly linked to Xanax and inhalants like computer duster. Officials ruled the death accidental. Aerosol cans were reportedly found in his bedroom, prescription bottles were discovered in the bathroom, and his housekeeper found him in the bathtub. The coroner's report sounded direct and final. No foul play suspected. Just a heartbreaking tragedy and a case many believed was already closed. But now, some people following these reports are starting to look back at the situation with fresh questions. Now look at what reportedly changed in this entire situation. According to sources connected to Diddy's own legal case, alleged evidence tying him to Aaron Carter's passing surfaced during the federal human trafficking prosecution. Not years later, through some brand new investigation, not from a random rumor online. Reports claim it appeared right in the middle of the same case that was already threatening to send him to prison. That detail alone is what has people paying very close attention right now. And Diddy's reported reaction has not been described as calm or controlled. It also has not sounded like the usual carefully crafted legal response where attorneys simply say, "This is all being misunderstood." Instead, reports describe real panic, the kind that makes people believe the sentence already handed down may not be the issue causing the biggest fear behind the scenes. Just look at how serious this situation has become. Diddy is now a convicted man, and 50 months is real prison time. He is not simply walking away from this tomorrow, but that sentence is specifically tied to transporting individuals for commercial work. That is what the jury decided, and that is the punishment the judge handed down. The claims surrounding Aaron Carter's passing are completely separate from that criminal case. Right now, there are no homicide charges filed and no grand jury indictment connected to Aaron's death. But despite that, reports claim Diddy is reacting like another major problem could be closing in around him. That reaction is exactly what has people paying attention. When someone already convicted in a high-profile case appears fearful over something outside of the charges they faced, it naturally raises more questions about what could happen next. And the details are what make this story harder for many people to ignore. According to the autopsy, Aaron reportedly became incapacitated after the effects of Xanax and compressed gas exposure, went underwater, and drowned. Those findings were part of the official ruling that labeled the death accidental. Investigators reportedly found multiple cans of computer cleaner inside Aaron's bedroom and bathroom. The coroner's report also described the Xanax level in his system as therapeutic, suggesting the amount itself was not considered an overdose. But one detail especially caught people's attention later on. A bottle of Xanax discovered at the scene had reportedly been prescribed to someone else. That detail has continued to stand out for many people following the case. It is the kind of thing that can seem minor at first, but once noticed, it leaves lingering questions behind. And according to online discussions surrounding the case, that was not the only part that some felt never fully made sense. There was also what Aaron himself reportedly said before his passing. Months earlier, Aaron Carter looked directly into a camera and claimed that if something happened to him, it would not be an accident. He also said he had evidence stored away somewhere. That clip has continued circulating online ever since, spreading across forums and social media discussions. At the time, many people dismissed the video as the words of someone publicly dealing with personal struggles. But after everything that has happened since, others started revisiting those comments in a completely different light. At the time, a lot of people found it easier to dismiss Aaron's warnings. He had been publicly fighting with his brother Nick, dealing with non-stop online harassment and struggling through very visible personal issues. Many people believed he was in a bad mental and emotional place, and that shaped how his comments were viewed back then. But now, with reports claiming Diddy is allegedly panicking over leaked evidence connected to Aaron Carter's passing, that old video is suddenly being looked at in a very different way. What once sounded to some like fear or paranoia is now being re-examined by people who believe Aaron may have genuinely felt threatened before his death. The biggest question now is simple. What exactly is inside this alleged leaked evidence? That missing piece is what keeps pulling people deeper into the story. According to discussions surrounding the case, the reported leak is what sparked this entire wave of speculation and renewed attention. People following the situation closely point to Diddy's reported reaction as one reason they believe something serious may exist behind the scenes. Reports describe behavior that sounds more like panic than confidence, and that alone has fueled non-stop debate online. But at this point, the alleged evidence itself has not been fully revealed publicly, and none of it has been tested in court. No official source has stepped forward and declared there is definitive proof of wrongdoing.
That means what? The conspiracies is real. Deals get done. The DA and the judge and the prosecuting lawyer They all go to the same country club. They work out at the same gym. You know, they having coffee together. Them people not enemies.
Right now, what exists are claims, speculation, and a convicted man reportedly acting as if whatever surfaced could create an even bigger storm if it ever becomes public. That alone does not prove guilt, but it does help explain why so many people are watching his reported fear so closely. When someone already convicted in a major case allegedly appears this shaken, it naturally keeps attention locked on the situation. And then there's the timing, because this is no longer some distant rumor floating around online. Aaron Carter's legal proceedings are reportedly scheduled for June 5, 2026, and Judge Daniel L. Alexander has already denied several summary judgment motions. That means the case is still moving forward. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of Aaron's son, Princeton, and it claims doctors and pharmacies allegedly overprescribed medications connected to Aaron's passing. On the surface, it reads like a medical malpractice case focused on prescriptions, healthcare decisions, and standard procedures. From the outside, it might sound routine or technical. But with all the speculation now surrounding these reports, people are looking at every development much more closely. But the real pressure comes from what a courtroom trial can unlock. Trials can lead to subpoenas, discovery requests, sworn depositions, and witness testimony that forces information into the open. And if this alleged leaked evidence actually exists, and if Diddy is truly worried about what it contains, then that courtroom could become the place where private fears suddenly turn into public problems. What looks like a civil case about prescription medication could end up exposing information that was never expected to reach the public eye. That is why the timing of everything has people paying such close attention right now. He is already serving prison time, but according to these reports, that may not even be the issue causing the biggest concern behind the scenes. Prison is something powerful people can often prepare for with attorneys, money, and legal strategy. Diddy has spent years surrounded by lawsuits, controversy, and public scrutiny. But this situation is different because the trial is not centered around him directly, which also means he may have less control over what comes out during the process. If witnesses are compelled to testify, documents are introduced, or recordings are discussed in court, then anything connected to this alleged leaked evidence could become far harder to keep hidden. And once information enters open court proceedings, the public, the media, and investigators all gain access to details that were previously buried behind closed doors. At that point, the entire situation could shift dramatically. New investigations could potentially follow, and legal pressure could increase depending on what evidence, if any, actually surfaces. Suddenly, the 50-month sentence that once looked like the end of the story starts to seem much smaller compared to what people fear could come next. So this is where everything stands right now. A convicted man sitting behind bars, an incident officially ruled accidental 3 years ago, a wrongful death-related trial expected to begin in less than a year, and alleged leaked evidence that reportedly has one man panicking while everyone else tries to figure out what may actually exist behind the scenes. Instead of feeling finished, this story seems to be expanding with every new report and every new question. More names are being connected, more pressure is building, and more uncertainty keeps surrounding the situation. And according to the reports, the person who may understand the stakes better than anyone else is allegedly reacting like the entire situation could get far worse at any moment. That kind of reaction is exactly why so many people remain focused on the story. It does not sound like someone who feels fully protected or completely confident everything will stay hidden. To many observers, it sounds more like someone worried that the most damaging information has not become public yet. So yes, the man is already locked up, and reports claim he is deeply afraid of what could happen next. But beyond all the headlines and courtroom drama, there is another side to this story that many people feel has not received enough attention at all. The Carter family had reportedly been struggling for years, long before Aaron was found in that bathtub and long before any alleged leaked evidence became part of public conversation. And when people step back and look at the timeline, the names, and the legal filings connected to the family, the situation feels incredibly heavy and heartbreaking. 3 siblings gone. One brother publicly defending his reputation. and a twin sister who has spoken openly about spending years in therapy while fearing another devastating loss could happen at any time. This was never viewed as just one isolated tragedy. To many people, it looked like years of emotional pain and personal struggles continuing to build until the family was left shattered. The timeline alone is difficult to ignore. Leslie Carter passed away in 2012 at just 25 years old. According to reports, investigators found a combination of medications near her body. While officials were careful about the language used publicly, many people understood the tragic implications surrounding the situation. Then came Aaron's passing in 2022. He was 34 years old when he was found in his bathtub, with aerosol cans and prescription bottles reportedly discovered nearby. Then, in 2023, Bobby Jean Carter passed away at 41. Reports surrounding her death also involved another toxicology investigation, adding yet another heartbreaking chapter to an already devastating family history. 3 out of the 5 Carter siblings are now gone. Nick and Angel are the only siblings still living, and Angel has spoken very openly about the emotional weight the family carried for years. She revealed that after Leslie's passing, she was already in therapy preparing herself for the possibility of losing Aaron too. According to her, that fear followed her throughout her 20s. She said she could see the path Aaron was on, and despite how much she loved him, she felt powerless to stop it. Then there is Nick Carter, the oldest sibling and the family member whose success with the Backstreet Boys first brought major fame and money into their lives. In recent years, Nick has also faced serious legal battles of his own. He is currently dealing with 4 civil lawsuits filed by women accusing him of sexual assault connected to incidents they claim happened years ago. Melissa Schumann filed a lawsuit in 2023 alleging an incident from 2003 when she was 18 years old. Shannon Ruth filed in 2022 alleging an incident from 2001 when she was 17. Ashley Rep filed in 2023 alleging an incident from 2003 when she was 15. Lauren Finley filed in 2025 alleging 2 incidents from 2005 when she was 19 and claimed she later developed serious health complications afterward. Nick has denied all of the allegations against him, and his legal team has described the accusations as part of a larger conspiracy against him. He later filed counter lawsuits denying the accusations and pushing back legally. But for this story, one detail that drew major attention was Aaron's public reaction to the allegations against his brother. Aaron openly supported the women making the accusations and even contacted Melissa Schumann directly. According to reports, he told her she was not the first person to accuse Nick of that kind of behavior. And once Aaron took that position publicly, the conflict inside the family appeared to explode into something far more intense. After Aaron sided with the accusers, the online harassment against him reportedly became relentless. Supporters and critics clashed constantly across social media, but according to reports, it went far beyond a few angry comments online. Aaron claimed he became the target of an organized campaign of harassment. A livestream creator known as Ganval reportedly built an audience by criticizing Aaron repeatedly during online streams. Reports also claimed aerosol cans were sent to Aaron's home while he was trying to stay in recovery, something many people viewed as deeply disturbing given his struggles with inhalants. His phone number, address, and even real-time locations were allegedly leaked online as well.
So what they're saying is, look, if you want to use the Mann Act to people who are moving prostitutes across state lines for commercial transactions, which again is what it's usually used for, that's one thing. But here, there's no commercial purpose. Diddy lost money. He ended up paying the prostitutes. The films were never distributed to anybody. The defense is saying it was for his pleasure and the pleasure of people who may have.
Aaron reportedly became convinced people close to his family were somehow connected to the harassment. He hired a private investigator, and according to reports, the investigator uncovered online clips showing Ganval appearing on streams with Nick's wife, Lauren Kit Carter, along with claims that Lauren had donated money to the streamer. There was never any direct evidence showing that Nick personally organized the harassment campaign against Aaron. But for many people watching the situation unfold, the connections and timing still raised a lot of questions. The harassment reportedly intensified soon after Aaron publicly supported the women accusing his brother, and that overlap became difficult for some observers to ignore. People did not need a confession to start looking more closely at the relationships, the online activity, and the growing tension surrounding the family drama. And over time, different documentaries began presenting completely different versions of the Carter family story. Investigation Discovery's Fallen Idols focused heavily on the women accusing Nick Carter. That documentary portrayed Aaron as a deeply troubled figure struggling with addiction, public pressure, and the emotional weight of feeling pushed aside within his own family. The series painted a dark and uncomfortable picture without trying to tie everything together neatly. Then came Paramount Plus' The Carters, produced with cooperation from Angel Carter. That version took a very different direction. Instead of focusing heavily on the assault allegations, it centered more on generational trauma, chaotic family dynamics, substance abuse issues, and parents who allegedly pushed their children into fame long before they were emotionally prepared to handle that kind of pressure and attention. In The Carters, Nick is presented as a grieving older brother trying to protect what remains of his family after years of loss and chaos. Angel describes him as the one person who truly understands the pain and trauma she lived through growing up. It is a softer and more forgiving version of the family story, focused more on healing than confrontation. But critics of the documentary pointed out that it barely addressed the women who accused Nick of assault, and that omission became a major talking point online. That is why many people feel no single documentary can fully capture everything surrounding the Carter family's complicated history. There are simply too many painful layers, accusations, losses, and unanswered questions wrapped into one story. Meanwhile, Aaron Carter's mother reportedly launched a GoFundMe campaign in hopes of getting her son a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The fundraising goal was set at $85,000, with a target date of May 15, 2026. But according to the last public update, the campaign had raised less than $200. For many fans, that detail hit especially hard. Aaron was once a massive teen star who sold millions of records, performed on huge tours, and became part of an entire generation's childhood memories. Yet, years later, his family reportedly struggled to raise enough money to honor his name publicly. Reports also stated that Aaron's estate was ruled insolvent, meaning he allegedly passed away with more debt than assets. The lawsuit connected to his passing was not filed by the estate itself. It was filed on behalf of his young son, Princeton, through legal representatives seeking accountability from doctors and pharmacies tied to Aaron's treatment. And for many people watching from the outside, that reality has become one of the saddest parts of Aaron Carter's legacy. Not a bronze star, not some grand public tribute. Instead, Aaron Carter's legacy became tied to lawsuits, an insolvent estate, and a fundraiser that reportedly received very little support. For many people, that contrast felt incredibly tragic, considering how famous he once was. There is also another part of this story that often gets overlooked. The legal battle surrounding Aaron's estate reportedly created major conflict between his mother, Jane Schnick, and his former fiancée, Melanie Martin. Court filings claimed Martin had improperly withdrawn money from Aaron's accounts after his passing. Martin denied wrongdoing and argued that the accounts were shared jointly. In the end, the judge reportedly ruled the estate insolvent anyway, meaning there was very little left to divide or fight over. But the image surrounding the situation stayed difficult for many people to ignore. A deceased former pop star, a young child connected to the estate, and family members locked in painful legal disputes over what remained behind the scenes. And while all of that family conflict continued, the civil case tied to Aaron's passing kept moving forward. According to reports, the goal was not about uncovering hidden wealth or chasing money, but about seeking answers regarding the circumstances surrounding his untimely death. Now this is where attention starts shifting back toward Diddy. Because according to the claims and speculation surrounding these reports, the two stories suddenly begin overlapping in a way that has captured massive public attention. Diddy is already convicted, already sentenced, and reports claim he is reacting with growing fear behind detention center walls.
That means what? The conspiracies is real. Deals get done. The DA and the judge and the prosecuting lawyer, they all go to the same country club. They work out at the same gym. You know, they having coffee together. Them people not enemies.
According to the claims surrounding this case, the biggest reason for the reported panic is that the trial, which could potentially expose the alleged leaked evidence, is not even centered on Diddy himself. The case is about Aaron Carter, prescription medications, medical responsibility, and whether two doctors and two pharmacies allegedly played a role in the circumstances leading to Aaron's drowning. That trial is reportedly scheduled to begin on June 5, 2026, and Judge Daniel L. Alexander has already denied multiple motions to dismiss the case. Because of that, the legal process continues moving forward with subpoena power, discovery requests, and depositions all still on the table. And if the alleged leaked evidence truly exists, and if it actually connects Diddy to anything involving Aaron Carter's situation, then what appears to be a medical malpractice-related civil trial could suddenly become something far bigger and far more explosive. That is also what makes this situation especially complicated. Diddy is reportedly not even a direct party in the lawsuit, meaning he may have very little ability to influence what information surfaces during proceedings. According to the speculation surrounding the case, all he can really do is wait and watch as details potentially emerge in court. That is why many people feel this story goes beyond a normal celebrity scandal. You have a convicted public figure, a family devastated by repeated tragedy, and an older brother currently fighting multiple civil assault lawsuits, all connected within the same storm of controversy. You have a younger brother who publicly supported the women accusing his older brother. You have reports of harassment campaigns and online attacks connected to people surrounding the family. And then, on top of all that, you have claims about alleged leaked evidence that reportedly has one person panicking while everyone else tries to figure out what it could actually mean. There is nothing simple or clean about this story. No version where every person neatly fits into a hero or villain role. The situation is emotional, deeply personal, tied up in legal battles, and filled with accusations, grief, and nonstop public scrutiny. And the more attention people give to one part of the story, the more the other pieces seem to pull themselves into focus. So what happens once the trial officially begins? What happens if discovery requests or witness testimony end up touching anything connected to Diddy? What if documents become public, witnesses are questioned under oath, or the alleged leaked evidence is discussed openly in court? Those are the questions driving so much speculation right now. Diddy is already convicted and already facing prison time, but that conviction is specifically tied to transportation involving commercial activity. It does not involve homicide allegations or conspiracy charges connected to Aaron Carter's passing. And that distinction is exactly why so many people are watching the next legal developments so closely. If the alleged leak points towards something more serious, something that could potentially connect him more closely to Aaron Carter's situation, then that 50-month sentence could suddenly seem much smaller compared to whatever legal trouble might follow next. And according to people discussing the case, that is the real fear being talked about right now. Not fear of the sentence already handed down, but fear of what could still happen if new evidence ever surfaces. Because what currently looks like a civil trial focused on prescription medication and medical responsibility could unexpectedly turn into something much bigger if additional information enters the public record. That possibility is exactly why so many eyes remain locked on this case. So this is where everything stands for now. The conviction is real. The reports of panic are real. The alleged leaked evidence continues to be discussed, but its contents still remain hidden from public view. The trial is approaching, the Carter family remains deeply fractured, and according to these reports, the person who may understand the risks better than anyone else is allegedly reacting like everything could collapse around him at any moment. That is the part people cannot stop talking about. A convicted man already facing public disgrace and prison time is reportedly still terrified of something hidden away behind the scenes. That is the part making so many people stop and pay attention. So what do you think could actually be inside that alleged evidence? According to the reports surrounding this case, whatever surfaced was serious enough to allegedly leave a man panicking from inside a federal detention center. And now, an incident once officially ruled an accident suddenly feels far less settled in the eyes of many people following the story. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video so you do not miss any future updates.